So hello, Julia. I'd like to introduce you to Julia Mitchell. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself? I've got some notes here, so my eyes are going everywhere. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your paintings and what got you started. Like what led you to picking up a paintbrush?
Hello, and thank you for asking me. So I always like to say that I'm the 13th child of my family because that makes it a very interesting conversation. And
Yes.
pretty much all my life I've just been about creating memories. So initially it would be taking photos and then scrapbooking. I used to teach scrapbooking for probably 12 years and had a shop um, and I sort of laid down all that creativity for quite some time, or should I say, redirected into maybe building websites and stuff like that. Then in 2020, when I was in Queensland and my mum, 99, was ill, I someone invited me to one of those sip and paint thingies,
Yes.
and I was like, yep, I could get onto the wine and give this a crack. And so I've never painted in my life, and it was
Really?
hilarious. But and that was just amazing. I gone, oh, wow, I never thought that you could put a bit of paint on a bit of paper and it turn into something. So that's my first. That was my very first painting. Then after Mum passed away and I moved back to Moree in New South Wales,
Mm-hmm.
I was lost because I didn't necessarily want to live back in Moree, and so I was a bit blue. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, a good friend of mine, Shana Rogers, who lives in Toowoomba, sent me a membership to your Christmas class. I think it was in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I pretty much started, or I might have tried to do a few things. I remember I painted this one painting and thought it was amazing and sent it to Charlotte. And it was in acrylic, and I didn't know you needed to let it dry. And so when she got it, all the paper was stuck.
Oh,
But I was so proud of it. But so yeah, that's what started me. Mm.
well, that's amazing that it's been so recent because you really have. I mean, I've met you recently, but
Yeah,
I would have assumed it's always been part of your personality and part of your life.
never.
So I suspect you're creative in other areas though.
Very creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is just one aspect of your creativity. So how do you what um what do you love most about being creative? I think you'd identify yourself as a creative person.
Yeah, I would do. So I
Mm.
think I mentioned to you before, I've just been wanting to put my artwork to use. So pretty much what I've been creating in my artwork, I've been putting it on Facebook,
Yep,
and it's
yep,
been
yep.
bringing joy to people. And a lot of people have said how much joy it brings them. And so um, I've always wanted to create these planners and journals and all the rest of it. So I've been using some of the artwork in those, and I've just been creating them. Um, I think without creating something, I'm depressed. So
Right.
for me, it's a way of doing something that you can see an end result
Yes.
and make you feel like you have accomplished something and that you are worthy and you're not dumb, or
Mm.
because we live in a society, I think, where you don't get many people who encourage you or compliment you or say
Mm.
well done. So for super sensitive people like myself, sometimes you can feel very alone, very alone.
I
Yeah.
can remember that just when you finish school and uni, suddenly no one's giving you marks anymore. And
Yeah.
it's like, yes, how am I going? But especially with art, it is a skill that you can see your own improvement with.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
So where do you like to create then? How do you fit it into your day? So where do you do your art creation?
Oh gosh. So can I tell you a funny thing? So while I work part-time for the Department of Education, and I have to work from home and have been doing so last June.
Mhm.
And I had to go in maybe a month or so ago, and they're like, why is there paint all over your mouth, Julia? And I said, we haven't seen the laptop yet. But so I do it right in my workspace. I would love to have a workspace, and I'm thinking, my gosh, when I leave, I'm going to have to buy a new mouse and mouse pad.
I'm glad it's only on the mouse. I have paint all over my laptop.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's just a but big red dot. I had to really remove that. So at the moment, I'd love a space,
Mm,
but which hopefully will be my sheet sheds. But
yes.
at the moment, I just work, yeah, just on my desk in the little room, and generally have
Yep.
you on in the background, or if I'm just practicing and doing something with music in the background, and it's
So
very
that's with
soothing.
acrylic and watercolor. You just work at your desk.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Acrylic, oh my gosh, that's really messy. I've wrecked so many items of clothing. I really, really, really have loved acrylic the most, but of late, in the last couple of months or so, I've just been doing the watercolors, been really enjoying that. I don't have that mess.
Mm.
Get it out and do it.
Yeah. I find I can do watercolor in a smaller space, but I struggle with acrylic in a smaller space. That's for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
And watercolor has to be flat. So really it's you don't have too much choice and it can be done anywhere. So
I
well, that surprised me too, because I really expected you to say, oh, I've taken over the whole dining room table because
no,
of the quantity of work you do or the quantity of artwork that you share. But you're
no,
just doing it there and fitting it into your life because that's where you are
yeah.
other times of the day.
I know, and I've been on some of those Facebook groups where they have women show all their art studio rooms, and I go,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So
Yeah,
so you don't have to have that to create.
you don't.
My
And
space is so tiny, but that's where it all happens.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I'm just so surprised by that. But has anyone ever criticized you with your artwork, and how did you cope with that? That was the other thing, because I know a lot of people have. I mean, I hope it hasn't happened, quite frankly, but a
Yeah.
lot of people do have other people in their lives just assuming that it's not important, or husbands saying, "Why are you doing that?" You haven't had anyone. You've had encouragement the whole way.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
being isolated.
Yeah. Oh, true. True.
Not
Yes.
really open to anyone
Who isn't
saying
gonna
that.
isn't that
No,
good?
I
That's really
probably
good.
I really probably just hear the opposite. Like I'm just amazed at how much joy.
Yes.
And there was one session I did with you, that 15-minute get fit session,
Mm-hmm.
where we did a whole heap of different things, the dogs and
It was
insects,
crazy.
whatever.
Yes.
I had so many. I had about 3 different people message me and say they would love to use this on material, or they'd love to use this print on their tea towels, or they would love to. And I
Yeah.
actually got a commission work from that, my very
Oh,
first
how
commission work.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful.
yeah,
So you're following along with some of the classes and then taking the ideas and going sideways, really, taking the skills. I can see the picture behind you. That
yeah.
splatter is wild and fun. Yes, that's absolutely wonderful. I can see the joy in that one. So do
Yeah.
you find that you work consistent? Do you have a daily routine or a weekly routine when it comes to fitting in, making some artwork, or do you work in fits and spurts?
I would love to say that I do. If I see a live come up from Anna, I'll be like excited and try to do it.
Yep.
But no, I'm trying to, it's a balance, of just, because I only have such a small space. So if I do
Yes.
sit down, I want to make sure that I'm doing one or two. And the other day, for the first time, I've gone, oh, I'm not enjoying this.
Ah,
Um, because in the back of my mind, I still had all these things I had to do. So I
right.
tend to get whatever those little, like take the clothes off line, whatever it might be, the little
Mhm.
things done, then I can sit down. So I loved again the art fitness. So I bring it up again because we were doing it so regular, it made me do it. And then
Yeah.
I wanted to do more. Whereas if there's sometimes if there's nothing on for me to participate in,
Yep.
when, yeah, I might not jump on.
How do you do the next thing? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like I want to, and
Mm.
happily can sit down and do, but I guess it again back to loneliness.
Mm.
Sometimes being part of the group or whatever creates a feeling and a sense of belonging to something, even it is online. And I get a lot of enjoyment from doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've added it to the list. It'll happen very soon. Another 15-minute art fitness spurt of inspiration.
Yeah,
I really quite liked that one. It was all over the place, that one. It had so many different ideas and themes. We covered so many interests, I suppose, with that one. They couldn't all be your favourite too. That was the thing too. I got to the end of it and thought, no, sort of these ones are my favourites because they're things that speak to me, but I wanted to create variety there. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. So I'm thinking, so what sort of, since you took up the art, you've talked about other people connecting with you because of the art. Is that sort of the best gift you think that's happened since it's distracting from real life, I suppose, and it's joy bringing. And have you connected with new people because of the art that you're making, or have you just deepened the relationships with other people?
Well, a bit of both. So part of actually in December 2019, I didn't want to live anymore. I pretty much all over everything. We've been in drought for so many years down here. It was just so much was happening, and I really miss my kids and I miss seeing my mum. And so 2020 early, I moved back up to Caloundra, Kings Beach, where we're originally from. And during that time, I questioned, well, why am I here? What's the purpose? Like, what else could I do? Or I don't want to be self-centered and all the rest of it. And so with the art, I found it's a way that I can bring joy. So as I share it or whatever, I'm meeting new people, but then there's old people that will privately message me and say, wow, you really made me happy today. And that is priceless. That to me feels like a purpose. That feels like, yes, I'm doing this because I can bring joy to others, and they're feeling lonely, they can look at that smile and So I think it's just a really amazing gift that we can share with others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of encouraging someone to pick up a brush or a pencil, sort of how would you what advice would you offer to encourage them to pick it up for the first time like you did? Sort of what is that catalyst that makes you think I could try this?
Well, I think that we don't believe in ourselves enough, and the only way that you can get over that unbelief is just to pick it up and do. So a couple of people have asked me, well, how did you start? Besides doing the sip and drink, which not everyone can do, whatever that is called. Straight after that, I just Googled on YouTube. There are so many hundreds of videos out there. And so one of the ladies, she just got a $5 paint set from Kmart and whatever. And she Googled how to paint basic waterflowers. And she just started. And she's like, oh, that's just amazing. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get started. I know you've got some really great kits on your website that are cheap as, and you just start. And this one particular lady had no idea that she could even do it. I don't know. I can draw. It's amazing what you can draw. Like, people say, oh, you can't draw because they think that that's painting. You've got to draw it first.
Yes.
You would be amazed at just how talented we are. How our brain is wired. You just need some instruction.
And it is that instruction. I think we realise that with music, you don't just sit down at a piano and expect to be able to play Mozart, but we have this expectation that you sit down at a piece of paper and can draw really, really well with no training. And a little bit of training goes a long way. A little bit of instruction goes a long way with art, that's for sure.
And exercise.
That's true.
Not the body, okay? The body's okay. But it's only through giving it a go and then trying this and then trying that. That's why it's so good to be part of a club or something, because you're regularly getting instructions
Yes.
and building on what you learned last time. So you might hear the same instructions like myself 10 times, but it might be the 10th time that adding purple to that makes that a darker colour without it being black. I'm like,
Yes.
that was my shadow.
Yes, that's exactly right. So there is so much to teach, and it can't be possibly taught in one lesson. It's too much to take in. And until you've had to go at it yourself, you don't know what you're missing yet.
And
So,
I like the fact that you're creating something. So you
yes.
have an end product as you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you've got to keep coming back and practicing, because there's so much to learn and so many more products to do.
And the collection looks so good together, doesn't it? So you managed that with the 15-minute it was art fitness, wasn't it? That just having that collection, I would wish that experience on everybody, to see the result of having 3, then 5, then, you know, even once you get to 6, that's impressive. So much more impressive than just the 1. So not stopping at that 1.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, fabulous. Well, it's just around the corner. But thank you so much for joining me today. That is just, it's lovely to have that little window into your life, and how much joy the art brings you, and how you fit it in around work and around life and around taking the clothes off the line, which is most of us. But yes, once you know the joy it brings, it has to take take a bit of priority. You are making an effort to fit it into your day and not putting it off anymore. So that's just wonderful. And it absolutely surprised me that you'd only just started doing it recently. So yes, very encouraging to so many people. That's going to be the headline now. Gosh. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Julia. Bye.